All right, guys, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Asian Qualifier here for the final 2 spots at the Intel Extreme Masters New York. As we have the countdown already begun for our next series, it's going to be INnoVation versus Zest.
Yeah, Zest, for some of you that may not know him, he's a Protoss player from KT Rolster, and was actually one of the highest performing players in Pro League when it was going on a little while back. I think that his win rate was like 65%, which is actually very strong.
Yeah.
And you introduce these players, and I'll say something after.
All right. Well, we have spawning up to the top right-hand corner, Mr. INnoVation representing Korea and Team Acer. And then down to the bottom left-hand corner are Pink Protoss, our lovely shade of pink, representing KT Rolster as well as Korea. He is Zest.
I didn't have the best of night's sleep last night.
No?
But I was thinking about a lot of different types of things. Whether it be I was dreamt about StarCraft, so I thought I was in a StarCraft game. I had a fox attack me in one of the dreams.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't the best night's sleep. It was kind of weird. I don't know why. But one of the things I went over in my head was, how do I describe to a StarCraft viewer the difference in win percentages and what they mean?
Yeah.
So I think I dreamt about 50%. If I was to say, let's go to Zest as the example here. 65% win rate in Pro League, which is one of the most competitive, tournaments, leagues there is. So anyway, I was thinking about it. I said 50% is not bad. 50% win rate is not bad at all to win every other game.
Yeah.
Then 55 to 60% was decent.
Yeah.
65% was good. 70% was very good. 75% was excellent. 80% I said was WTF in my dream.
Yep.
And anything above 80%, 85, 90% was, is this stat broken? Is it wrong?
Is it wrong?
That's how I would weigh it up. So Zest in the 65% category is good.
Yeah.
Breaching on very good.
Dude, you have some odd dreams.
I had a weird night last night.
A fox attacking you in a dream must be the cutest mauling of all time.
Actually, he didn't attack me.
No?
It was it woke me up because it's one of those dreams where you go, oh god, like one of those stressful ones. And it was I was walking in my garden with my little brother, who's a couple of years younger than me.
Aww.
And I think I had, or music was playing, something like that. And then he was trying to tell me something, and I didn't hear him properly. And then I saw this thing just run at me, and it was a fox. And I jumped, and then the fox jumped and bit him instead of me because I jumped, and it was the weirdest thing. I'm sorry, it's freaky.
The mind of Apollo.
Sometimes things just don't really make sense in your brain. But I mean, looking at this game now, Command Center first, very normal from INnoVation, and double barracks follow up.
Yep.
I guess not super normal, but is definitely possible here. And then it's just a 1 gateway, 1 gas expansion from Zest. So decently timed expansion from him with straight into second gas, but INnoVation definitely has the lead when it comes to openings.
Yep, all the Chrono Boost focused on the Nexus here for Zest. Didn't even bother getting a Zealot out as INnoVation didn't have time with that SCV to get over there and try and block that with an engineering base, so Zest didn't really need too much. And for now, just getting his Mothership Core and Stalker out, just looking to transition on. So we'll probably just see the Robo as well as Forge come down for Zest, unless he's going for something a little bit crazier, or unless he feels pressured, which right now, I think he's probably anticipating a Command Center first out of his opponent, so I don't think he'll go for extra gateways before the Robo. No,
I definitely feel that he... in this position, you have to open up with a very generic build because you haven't scouted, which is Robotics Facility, Observer to finally scout what's going on, to protect you against any Widowmine players. INnoVation has been known to do so, but INnoVation's completely greedy in this game. Command Center first, over to 3 Command Centers very, very early on. He saw his opponent didn't open up fast double gas, which means the likelihood of aggression is very, very low.
Yep.
Then combine the fact that he hasn't scouted yet and doesn't know what INnoVation's doing, so would have to play, as mentioned, a generic build, which is a Robotics Facility straight away, to make sure he's safe against any aggression from INnoVation. INnoVation's reading this game very smartly, very well, and is gaining massive advantages because of it.
Exactly, and now, with that Observer that he has out as well, he can start keeping an eye on his opponent's tech, his gases, if there's going to be, how many engineering bays are going to come down. So he has a great opportunity here to really get to know his opponent in this game. And the Stalker's keeping a good eye at the front as well.
He's still seen nothing, though, I mean, he's seen a few Marines, but he doesn't know if there's 1 barracks Command Center first. Doesn't really know anything. And unfortunately for him, he may I don't know if he would go that far, but he may even throw down a cannon in a mineral line because he doesn't know exactly what's going on in this game. That may be very overly defensive, but it's something that could happen here. And unfortunately, through Zest, he's playing against a build which we probably will see double engineering bay come down. He's playing against a build that is going to be so powered up. Obviously, it's weak now because Stim is late. The units count is kind of low. It's not the fastest factory or fastest engineering bay, but in the mid game when all these things are ready, INnoVation is going to be powered up so strong.
Very strong.
Very strong.
And the thing is that with the observer timing from Zest, it always, as a Protoss player, when you go one gate into Robo Facility after the expansion, the observer gets over there eventually, yes, but it doesn't get over there in time to really try and kind of keep up fully with what your opponent's doing. Whoa. He threw the...
INnoVation scans, right, and just goes in and doesn't see the Twilight Council, but what he does see is a very normal opening. Robo, Forge, then double gateway. He knows his opponent's playing very normal. The Twilight Council you can kind of imagine was coming down, but that's not something you can guess is there. It just depends on how Zest is playing, whether it would be Colossus or, as we can maybe see in this game, Templar play. But the Observer for Zest does finally get in, and he sees... Wait a minute, that barracks has been added on really fast here. Hasn't seen the third command center, but I promise you he knows. I promise you he knows, because now he sees double engineering bay as well as the third command center flying away. He's like, oh my god, this guy's build is sick. This guy's got a very, very powerful build.
Really on top of things is INnoVation. And Zest, having seen that now with this Twilight Templar Archives as well as Charge on the way, he's building up to that Zealot Charge Archon, maybe even the Storm kind of mix. And that's a really, really strong one, but with just the one Forge, he knows like his opponent's playing really greedy, so instantly starts chrono boosting into the armor, wants to get +1 started, might even go for a second Forge as well.
Well, he's on 6 gateways at the moment. He has a couple of options, right? Well, first of all, he's got the Warp Prism on the other side of the map, just slow his opponent down.
Yep.
But
where is it?
Does he attack from this position? Because if he doesn't start to expand himself soon, with INnoVation, with double engineering bay, with the third command center already mining at the 9-minute mark, which is faster than normal, and all these additional barracks, if we don't see an expansion come down very, very soon from Zest, he will start to be in trouble. He needs to catch up economically with INnoVation.
It's as if he's actually just going to go straight for it. I mean, he's chrono boosting out Storm really quickly. I don't think there's too much of a threat of drops right now for him because the starport was kind of late. He's keeping his opponent on his toes over the other side of the map with this Warp Prism as well. So chrono boosting out this Storm, is this just for defensive purposes, or is he actually going to go for an attack?
I don't think he's going to go for an attack. He's got too many probes. It's not very clean cut if he was, but his unit composition is a little bit, funky. It's Immortals and Storm. I'm pretty sure he's not going to go for an attack here. He could obviously poke out when Storm is done and try to catch INnoVation without Ghost or something, but at this point, INnoVation is at 113 supply, a little bit supply blocked here and there, but he's going to race up very, very fast in supply.
Yeah, oh yeah, especially with the way he's actually powered up. So that's going to help him out a lot. 1-1's about to finish up. In fact, just as +1 weapons finishes up for Protoss as well. So, but he's still on 1 Forge. If he sticks on this for a little bit longer and 2 starts for INnoVation, then INnoVation's going to start moving ahead as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, INnoVation with the Ghost Academy coming down, it is looking very strong in this game. So I'm thinking at this point is that Zest is playing from behind because of the build difference, and the INnoVation was simply set up stronger. But INnoVation has made one mistake in this game. He does not have Combat Shield.
Ooh, yeah.
And Combat Shield is a big, big difference. It really adds a lot into the army. So without having that there, his army is potentially a little bit weaker than it should be. But with Ghost coming into the mix already, INnoVation, weirdly, with... Wait a minute. Without an armory.
Ooh.
And does not have 2-2 on the way. I think that INnoVation is expecting his opponent to try to play catch-up and play a bit more greedy. INnoVation's going to go for an attack. And we probably can see SCVs pulled again, just like we know INnoVation likes to do. But the problem is, without combat shields, this is a lot weaker than it should be. A lot weaker. And Colossus is already on the way. So Zest, yes, he's playing from behind, but as long as that he can survive with Storms until Colossus is ready,
exactly,
maybe there's a way back into this game for him.
Yeah, you stole the words right out of my mouth, Paul. I gotta say, if he can hold on until those Colossi come along, then that will be the position that he can get into this. But at the same time, look at the army supplies, 110 against 65. Yeah. This is a big, big, strong army for INnoVation. INnoVation. But as you said, combat shields isn't there. That really could come back to bite him if those storms land.
There needs to be flanking High Templar. If it's anything directly, the Ghost will EMP everything.
Look at how many SCVs he's actually bringing with this as well. Good time warps will slow down this for quite a while. He has the secondary slowdown of the force fields that can land in front of this. And there is one Colossus there that needs to do so much work.
There's 2 High Templar on the third base. If they come down now, they could storm everything.
Oh, this is a huge, huge army start move forward. The SCVs are not actually getting through here. Can this mineral walk those through during all of this? But he moves forward. He's going to pick off that one Colossus. This is a lot of firepower. Oh, he does not get it in the end. But there's not that many gateway units left here to actually deal with this.
He forgot about the 2 High Templar on his third. They're only just now coming, but it's too late, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. There you go, GG. Even the mules get dropped there at the very last second, and INnoVation completely stomps and rumbles through the army.
So also, just while I've got your attention as this game just finished, I did tweet out right now about the tickets for the Intermission Masters Comic-Con tournament itself.
Yes.
So if you actually want to attend, you can actually go to Comic-Con with a deal between ESL and Intermission Masters and Team Liquid. I'm not sure of the entire link, which is why I decided to tweet it instead of tell you, because it's more difficult to get to. But on my Twitter right now, I sent out the link. So if you're interested in attending the tournament, please go ahead, check out the link, and find more details on how to go.
And if you don't use Twitter, you can just head over to Team Liquid, click on the store, click on North America, and then click on Other. And then you find exactly what you need to do. So, yeah, that's how you actually head over to see the Intel Extreme Masters in New York. It's going to be a good one. We already have a really nice lineup of players. And then aside from the 8 players that qualify, we have 4 players moving through from WCS ranking points. And then we have an open bracket there during the tournament actually commencing. So, back into these games, we have Belshir Vestige as map number 2. INnoVation looked really good in game number 1. The build was a little bit strange from Zest. Not what I was really expecting in terms of a composition with the double Immortals mixed in.
I just think that he was playing so heavily without information. It was very hard for him to play correctly to what INnoVation had. And that was kind of the biggest part of this game. Such a greedy, expensive opening from INnoVation, really lacking on defense, but powering up with everything else. If you don't spot this early and you don't know you're playing against it, you simply are playing from behind, which happened to Zest.
All right, well, game number 2 now on the way here as INnoVation, spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner, currently 1 game up, is looking to advance on to arguably the final series for him, if he can close it out. And up to the top left-hand corner, a man that went through Stage 1 and Stage 2 of the Korean qualifiers, beating a fantastic lineup of players. There was all sorts of players in those qualifiers, a ton of Premier League players from WCS. Spawning as the pink, he is Zest.
Yeah, I really, have to push this in favor of INnoVation again. When it comes to his Terran versus Protoss and Terran versus Zerg, he is simply, from what it seems, very, very difficult to beat. In Terran vs. Terran, it's a different story, but like we mentioned earlier, the only one Terran player is not even in the winner bracket right now. So INnoVation doesn't even have that threat to advance in first place as long as he keeps up his level against the players that are remaining inside.
And, if INnoVation, the favorite to win this particular qualifier, actually advances on, there's not a whole lot of people that are going to be able to stop the guy. He is arguably the favorite to take the entirety of New York. That being said, with players like Naniwa in there, like 4GG and Polt, there is opportunities there for them to defeat someone like INnoVation. As you said, INnoVation's TVT is his weakest. 4GG and Polt, very good in that matchup. And then Naniwa in the Season 2 finals was able to even beat INnoVation somehow, some way. So it's not all cut and dry completely down the line just yet.
Zest has gone for a 12 gateway. This is not normal. It's rushed out. He's got a Zealot being chrono boosted. He's looking to put aggression on early, blindly. So what has happened, and this is a bit of mind games going on between both the players. INnoVation opens up with one of the greediest possible builds you can in game number 1, and then it actually opens up with a very conservative build in game number 2, which is a barracks and then a refinery on 14. So it's like going to be 2 Marines into a reactor or something along the lines. And Zest is looking to try and get damage done early. He's chrono boosted into a very fast Zealot. He's saving the rest of his chrono boost up. I would not be surprised that he tries to do something early, but the problem is there's an SCV about to go in and scout this. He's going to go in and be like, hold on a minute. There's only 1 gas been taken. There's a lot of chrono boost saved up already.
And I think that if INnoVation controls this properly against just the 1 Zealot initially, he should be okay. It's really the Stalker follow-up that's a little bit scary, but obviously it was delayed by the Cybernetics core timing, you know, having to build whilst there was downtime on that gateway as well. Normally, don't you see like a double Zealot and then into Stalker if you're going to go very, very aggressive with this?
So he's going to go to an expansion with it. But right now on the other side of the map, the Zealot is there, but INnoVation so far hasn't even taken a single hit on his 2 Marines. Immediately throws down a bunker because he realized now that there was also the Chrono Boosted Stalker. And to be honest, Zest has hurt his economy a little bit to rush out a Zealot, to rush out a Stalker and Mothership Core. Not a lot, but a little bit here. INnoVation, very simply, when the bunker is complete, will easily defend against this. Easily. And now a reactor's done building 2 Marines at a time. He's already saying, I've actually dealt with this rather well. I have a factory on the way, and I'm going to start to build up my counterattack, which will be most likely a Marine Mine Medivac play.
Yeah, I mean, to reinforce your point, it's simple maths, right? If you're spending Chrono Boosts on gateway units, as well as maybe the Mothership Core, you know, you're not spending it on probes. So it is always going to hurt a little bit in the long run. But now, INnoVation here, slightly supply blocked. So going to get out of that, but then his follow-up is just going to be straight on into that factory here. What do you think he's going to be doing? Do you think he might end up going up to Widow Mines with this?
Yeah. I really expect like a Widow Mine and just drop in the Widow Mines in the mineral line. On the other side of things, though, Zest right now, even though he chrono boosted and hurt his economy just a little bit in the early game, has set up, you know, kind of okay for the rest of it here. He's chrono boosting into his Warp Gate research to try and get Warp Gate done along with 3 gateways, and I think he's kind of understanding that the follow-up could be what we're seeing.
Yeah.
But with a Robo down, he has the tools to defend against what's coming. The question is, can he? Because INnoVation's going to come out and he's going to force a Photon Overcharge, and then we'll make sure that the Photon Overcharge is not ready for the proper drop, which is going to be the Mine and Medivac soon.
I guess that's the one nice thing that Zest got out of that Zealot poking up to the front, the fact that he did see that factory in production. So he kind of has a little bit of an idea of what to prepare for. But at the same time, it's very important for him now to spread himself as properly as he can do. Get that observer over there, know exactly what's going on. But by the time that gets over there, he's not really... it's already going to be hitting him. So he has to spend his Photon Overcharge to try and push this away.
Yep, and the Medivac's on his way, and there's already a Widow Mine out the front door. There's going to be another one coming across the map soon, and INnoVation's going to try and look to do this. But look at this. Zest has actually got 3 Stalkers on the other side of the map, and the bunker was salvaged. So if he's able to defend with the units he has out and counterattack at the same time, or that actually could work really, really well for him. Really well. With no bunker and, you know, Stims late, there's nothing really there. 6 Stalkers on the other side of the map. Chrono Boost all into the gateways right now. Pro production has stopped.
Whoa. But how does he deal with the aggression over the other side?
He's got to deal with his own aggression. He's building an Immortal. Zest is playing super aggressive this game, but can he deal with what is on the other side? 6
Stalkers push everything away from the natural, but at the same time, he doesn't know about the drop in his main. That could do a lot of damage with that Widow Mine there as well, and even poking into the natural himself. And there's no Photon Overcharge for a long, long time here. He will clean up in the main, but the natural is going to take quite a bit of damage.
Yep, lots of damage being dealt out.
10 workers have gone down so far. INnoVation does get pushed away from his natural. Needs to repair that command center. It's not going to die to 6 Stalkers. But again, he's going to take a lot of damage at his natural. This Widow Mine is zoning this army out so nicely for a second. Kills off a Zealot and has to be forced away.
Well, Photon Overcharge has pushed this back on the natural, so it's 25 probes to 31 SCVs, but INnoVation's stuck inside his own main base. He's actually switched over to a tank to help protect himself, but there's so many Stalkers here.
Yeah. And if the army gets along with this as well, if you can pick off that siege tank somehow, but at the same time the SCVs come off the line, knowing that it's so important to keep that alive. He's taking a lot of damage on his SCVs himself with that tank, and it does end up dying.
Great surround with the SCVs.
Yeah, he mineral walked. Really, really nicely done there. We'll clean that away.
Wow, that was a lot of Stalkers he just lost. There is another tank on the way, but there's already an Immortal on the other side of the map. The Observer gets picked off, but there's really maybe not enough for INnoVation to defend here. Their army supply is very, very similar. But I don't know.
Those Stalkers somehow want to try and get to that siege tank, but the Marines will zone it out. And, well, Zest's going to continue to try and control and soft contain this a little bit. I think he realizes that the siege tank was on siege, so he's going to move forwards here. All he has to do is spread his units, and he's actually got the focus fire on that siege tank, kills it off.
Yeah, the Immortal's so powerful in this situation here.
Yeah.
Low unit count.
He kills off the Mothership Core, but it doesn't matter. Zest ties up the series. A great move from Zest. I really liked the aggression. I was a little bit skeptical at the start as to whether or not that initial Zealot poke was going to do some damage, but I think in the end, it gained that little bit of intel of that factory being there that was really, really nice for him to defend at home as well. He took less damage than I was expecting him to.
Yeah, that was a completely different game compared to map number 1 there, where we saw INnoVation play incredibly greedy. But then when it came to map number 2, it was the complete opposite from Zest from the get-go. We kind of saw his stance was so aggressive from the very start, and he was able to beat INnoVation.
But now, going into game number 3, INnoVation probably kind of weighs things up from game number 1 and game number 2, says, all right, your aggression worked in game number 2. I'm going to play a little bit more defensively at the beginning of this game and stabilize and try and get myself to where I feel most comfortable.
That's right. I'm not sure, how the builds are going to shape up. The next map is Akalon Wastes. We'll have to figure it out, right?
Yeah, we certainly will. Jump into game number 3 now, as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner, Blue Terran. A lot of people know of this guy. He is Ace at INnoVation. And up to the top left-hand corner, a player that not a lot of people know about, unless you watch quite a bit of Pro League. We have Mr. KT Rolster's Zest.
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll figure out how this is going to shape up. But I think INnoVation, with the choice of going over to the Widow Mines and stuff, I think Zest did play that out very well. Understanding that that's probably what he was going to go towards, and then setting up the counterattack and the Mothership Core and a couple of units left to defend at home. I think that was really well done. Yeah,
and it can be hard to hold on and keep your composure as a Protoss against someone who is hitting your multiple fronts that early, especially when you don't have energy for Photon Overcharge. But Zest bought the time. Zest split his units pretty well and damage controlled at his natural pretty nicely as well, to the point where he did eventually have Photon Overcharge, and he pushed everything away from his main because he knows that that's the true point of contention. Because if you can eventually Photon Overcharge at your natural and push that Medevac's way as well, you really gain a lot more space control, which was really well done.
Different setup though. Zest has gone for 13 Gateway and Scout this time. So 13 Gateway leans obviously towards a more expansion-based play. And the Scout here is to figure out what's going to happen, because so far INnoVation's really changed it up from game 1 to game 2 and probably game 3 as well. So I really like the change up with the Probe Scout.
Yeah, he's going to see everything that's going on. INnoVation did not place his barracks in a position where he could have thrown down a second supply depot eventually to try and wall this off if he'd have thrown that down early. So the probe will get him, and he'll see what's going on, as is more common nowadays.
Yeah, he'll go in and be all right, this is a Reaper build.
Yeah.
So it'll be like a Reaper expansion here. The 2 follow-ups INnoVation has to choose from is going to be for the factory if he continues to mine a lot of gas. But he's already pulled 1 out of gas, bear in mind. So pulling 1 out of gas has pushed him down to a faster command center and decreasing the amount of gas income, which probably means it'll be 1 barracks command center and with a barracks follow-up, like normal. And that's the kind of information that Zest will pick up on, apart from the 1 being out of gas. So all he will think about is, can it be a factory play, or is it just going to be a barracks again after the command center's down?
Yeah, and I mean, akin to Akalon Wastes more so than anything. This is I like this build from INnoVation. It's it's a nice defensive map. It's not necessarily the shortest, the longest of rushed instances, but I don't think we're going to see the mega crazy aggression out of Zest again. I mean, we already haven't. We've already seen him lean to that more macro focus. But with that, he still has the option to go for something aggressive if he wants to. He could still go for an Immortal push, but INnoVation would be looking for that like a hawk.
Absolutely. He's already in there with the Reaper, trying to see if the second gas has been spotted, has been put down or not. He's going to try to swing around to see what he can pick up. And he's going to go in and be, all right, second gas is now just completed. So it's 1 gateway expansion and the second gas has been added on. So here's the most likelihood from Zest is a robotics facility, and that's what INnoVation is going to be looking for. And there is the second barracks follow-up from INnoVation as well. Just, as we noted from his gas being a little bit different, this was the most likely follow-up. But Zest does not know that and will not know that until he gets a scout, which is going to be very, very late in the game. So to be honest, I think he has to throw down a robotics facility simply because he doesn't know what's coming. And you have to get an observer out if it was to be a Widow Mine drop.
Yeah, and that scout is definitely late in the form of, well, it has to be that observer, right? There's nothing else that's going to be able to get in there for now. So that's annoying for Zest. We'll get that going in just a little bit.
It could be an Immortal. Obviously could be. But with the Forge coming down instead now, this is going to be an observer. And the Forge is going to be for his +1 armor nice and early. And it is just going to be a regular setup. But like I said, neither of the players have gathered any more information from each other since the Reaper scouted the second gas, and since basically the probe saw 1 barracks Reaper.
And for Zest, this is probably one of the best maps here to try and go into a macro focus against his opponent, because we've even seen as of late, not the highest of levels, but in WCS Europe, you know, if you establish that third base behind these rocks up in the normal location, then you can deal a little bit better with your opponent if they're going to go for, you know, Marine, SCV pulls, and that big push, bearing around the 180 supply mark for a player like INnoVation. But he is the best in the business at it. So even dealing with it when you know it's coming or something like that happens off a macro game is still very difficult.
Zest's build, when you just look at the structures, is greedy. It's just one gateway for a long time, but he has focused on getting 3 Stalkers out, which pushes back a lot of these kind of movements out that we see from INnoVation here. And that is nice of him. Behind this, by the way, INnoVation's just gone for his regular updated turn versus Protoss build, which is 2 barracks, then factory. Factory much much earlier on. But look, even a cannon being built by Zest, he just doesn't know what's going on. Through the middle of the map, he sees Marauders now. So upon seeing Marauders in the middle of the map, he knows it was a barracks follow-up, and knows that Stim can't be ready still, can poke forward a little bit with these Stalkers, but probably will still have to use a Photon Overcharge, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Stalkers, they're not too well equipped to deal with this huge force that's now moving forwards here. And, you know, for Zest, it's really important to just have that 1 sentry out as well here. Because that army, that small army here for INnoVation, it could potentially have gone completely around this Photon Overcharge and charged into the main. So having that 1 sentry for that force field is really of high importance.
All right, so at this point now, INnoVation doesn't really know what the follow-up is, if it's going to be Colossus or not. He knows that there's a tech choice been thrown down, just doesn't know what it is. On the other hand, though, Zest has gotten all the information that he needs in this game. He's seen that this is going to be the standard 2 barracks, factory and engineering bay with a 3rd barracks right behind it, and can probably guess that it's going to be up towards the 3rd command center quite soon, unless we see extra barracks come down. But at this point, he is starting to build quite a few units to deal with this pressure. I love the Immortal add-on in this game compared to game number 1. He realizes there's quite a few Marauders that have been made. He's got to be safe. He's got to make sure he just doesn't straight out die. And that's what's happened so far. He hasn't just straight out died.
Certainly. He kills off an Observer at the front as well, which is a nice pickup there for INnoVation. At the cost of a scan, not too bad. And just going to send out an SCV as well here to start his 3rd command center. So very, very standard INnoVation build. And Templar Archives has started behind this for Zest as well. So he's going up to what looks like his standard, adding on those 3 gateways as well. It's almost identical to this game in game number 1.
INnoVation will need to figure out if this is going to be Templar play or not, because he still hasn't got that information. He may be able to gather just from knowing who his opponent is. If he opens up with an Immortal like this, it's probably going to be Templar play, like game number 1. But I think, though, that INnoVation with double drops is about to pick up some information, but the Observer has seen it. The Photon Overcharge is available inside the natural, while units defend inside the main.
Yep, he should be able to push this away quite handily, especially with Zealot Charge there as well. Makes it a very nice
He may throw down
cleanup.
the Ghost Academy now upon seeing Zealot Charge. You rarely get Zealot Charge and Colossus focus. Yeah,
you're right. It's a bit of a giveaway here. Once again, he still sees this army, these 2 medevacs moving around at this top right with this Observer, and he sees the front as well. So Zest can be really, really on top of these defenses whilst getting his tech of choice out. An INnoVation behind this. The 3rd command center is a little bit later than before, right? So, yeah. But at the same time, a big attack throws down Time Warp. I don't think this is going to go so well for INnoVation.
No.
What is going on?
Yeah, just try to get a bit of damage done. He realizes no splash damage, but as we can see, that was clearly going to be in favor of Zest, who now can throw down the 3rd Nexus rather easily. But he has added on 2 extra gateways, actually. I was just looking at what he could do. He's at a decent pro count. He's got a lot of units, and he picked off a lot of units from INnoVation there.
He did.
And INnoVation sees his opponents just walking across the map, so has to throw down just more than 1 bunker, I feel, at this point. That's a lot of units. There's no pro, but there is a Warp Prism instead, so that will be the reinforcement pylon. INnoVation's got to be careful here. This is a lot of units.
He really does. Storm just finished up. There's only 1 High Templar out right now, so he's not going to have access to Storms just yet. But very soon they're going to be out and about. And the Ghost Academy has only just started. So if he continues this, he actually catches some of the SCVs as well. Zest's in a really good spot so far.
Really, really good spot here for him. And he has thrown down the robotic space, so he will expand. But he's just taken advantage of the mistake that, INnoVation had there.
And this is some good pressure. I mean, this could be, again, just puffing up his feather. Look, he actually pulls off the SCVs because INnoVation knows he's in trouble. But this is a straight, retreat out with a little bit of Warp Prism harassment as well. A great move by Zest, gotta say.
Yeah, and he just retreats back. He prevents INnoVation from mining, puts him back onto 2 bases, forces a lot of bunkers down, slows his economy while just expanding himself. Good play there by Zest. Really nice counterattack, just exploiting INnoVation's mistake, and INnoVation got punished for it.
Yeah, I think it's also, worth noting that, just to elaborate on what we've been just saying, is that, a counter-attack doesn't have to actually attack. If he puts his opponent in that defensive posture and forces all of this stuff out of him, then that's really hurtful here for INnoVation. Is he going to try and... Oh, no, okay, that SCV's just gone back there as it was routine, so... He's going to try and get his third base up and running in the normal location, which is a bit more defensively minded.
But so far, so good for Zest. Remember, both of these players now are fighting to go to the next best of 3, where they would play for a slot to qualify and be invited to go to the Intel Extreme Masters in New York. And Zest right now is in a comfortable position, I'd say, with INnoVation frightened on the other side of the map, had to retreat home. Zest has had a lot of time to get his Templar down, to get his +2 armor near completion, and now to start his Colossus production. With 1 already out, he's savored the 2 Immortals from much earlier on. And overall, is looking in pretty good shape against INnoVation so far.
Yeah, and forcing the cancellation of that 4th base as well. Okay, here's the question. Now with Zest gathering a lot of momentum, what can INnoVation do to deal with this? Does he go into the macro game, or does he go for SCV pull?
He has to macro now. I mean, with 3 extra barracks being added on, why would you... There's no reason to add them on if he was going to pull soon. Because if he was going to pull soon, he has to go now, as in right now.
Yeah.
He's missed his timing otherwise, because there are High Templar and Colossus out. The SCV pull is to hit a timing before the Protoss player has both capabilities to Storm and to use Colossus. So if it was going to be now, if it was going to be an SCV pull, it would have had to be now. But, +3 attack on the way, it's fine. 4th command center on the way, it's fine. So INnoVation will have to play a macro game. And what he's going to have to play and how he's going to look for his win will be in fights. There's no cheeky way to win now. There's no easy way to win. If there could have been, just like in game number 1, just like it could have been in game number 2. But Zest, through that counterattack on INnoVation's mistake, has pushed this game into late.
And he's doing really well off the back of it here. Gotta say, he's got his upgrades going. Only the 1 Forge, though, against double Engineering Bay, which can cause him a little bit of trouble. But at the same time, he's going to have Blink. He's going to even have Observer Speed to try and keep an eye on his opponent everywhere. He has 3 Observers out on the map right now. And the scan goes down, revealing his opponent's army, so he knows Zest's current state.
Not a very high Viking count, though. There's 4 Colossus about to be out, I think.
They were initially looking for the Warp Prism and didn't find it. Well, they did down to the bottom left, but the Warp Prism escaped the 2 Vikings and are going to try and do some harassment.
Yeah, this is nice. If he's able to warp in Zealous and get to those engineering bases, which are very close here.
Yeah, very vulnerable.
That's the one thing that he doesn't have right now. So to be honest, I don't know if he can grab the engineering bay, but it... okay, he's just going to do anything he can.
He's going to go for the armory. The armory will end up dying, and it was upgrading weapons for the Vikings, so the Vikings are going to be even less effective against double Colossi production. That's a hit that it's going to be hard to take, because Zest is now maxed down.
And he can't start +3 attack either, remember.
Oh,
and Zest is moving through the middle of the map.
Yeah, he maxed out. This could be his time. How many Vikings? There's 5 Vikings, Apollo.
Yeah, that's not a lot. 4 Colossus. Not too many Stalkers, though. Not too many Stalkers.
Not much ground army in general. He needs to kind of pull back and kind of get that going a little bit further.
Yeah. There's nothing he can do here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he does spot that INnoVation's on 4 command centers now. But yeah, this is a nice move there from Zest. Again, just small little things to helping him out, getting a pretty big lead. And behind this, he is starting to increase that Stalker count. I'm not sure if he has Blink yet. Okay, he does have Blink.
Is it a slight oversight here by INnoVation? Because he's had double Starport for quite a while, but he's not really had that higher Viking count.
Yeah, I think so. He's been at 5 for a long time in this game. I think he probably could have and should have been at a higher count.
This hasn't been the most meticulous game out of INnoVation that we've seen in recent times. And Zest could certainly punish him for it, because his army right now is becoming very strong. He's got 16 High Templars on the map.
16 High Templars. There are 6 Colossus. Storms are going to be coming from everywhere.
+1 weapons was stopped with the Vikings as well. We have to reiterate that. This is going to be difficult here for INnoVation.
Yeah, and he may go to the losers bracket if he loses this game. It's 1-1, best of 3 game. It's going to come down to the fight. There's 2 flanking High Templars at the bottom left here of the army. Going to go on the high ground. Will not be spotted, or just now will. Unfortunately, that sucks. Could have been very deadly.
Yeah, they could have been.
But there's a Warp Prism going to the main base again. There's a sensor tower and turrets in the way, so he knows it's going there.
Yeah, he sees this, and this buys even the Zest a little bit more time to max out and get himself going. Once again, the armory has been added on here, so he can start that +3 armor.
That's close.
Oh, it's going to die. Bye-bye. Okay. Well, okay, we have still 11 Vikings, +1 weapon starts for them again, and the Colossi are at +2 armor.
The one thing that Zest doesn't have, and which is why the engineering base snap could have been big, is upgrades. He's only at 2-2 still. Versus INnoVation, who's got +3 attack, he has +3 armor on the way.
Zealot's heading over to that 5th base here, but not really going to get too much done. INnoVation is on top of it.
This game will be decided by... wait a minute. Look at the High Templar down the bottom left. There's 2 High Templar looking at those units.
What?
But the Marauders and Marines can't see up the ramps.
Oh my god.
This game will be decided on the fight. Whoever wins the fight will have a big edge in the game.
Oh, drops the scan, pushes forwards, does a little bit of tickling damage to that one Colossus, but it's not
Zest
enough.
should just kill that Marauder and 3 Marines.
Yeah.
So allow those 2 High Templar to do something.
Exactly, because right now they've got no shot. Drops the scan again, sees the opponent's army, and he dropped another scan somewhere. I guess he was killing off an observer. Pushes in, loses one of the Colossi, morphs in an Archon, realizing, oh, that's a lot of ghosts he has. Wow, 20 ghosts right now.
Yeah, and they have Cloak as well.
Oh, and those 2 High Templar down to the south, they didn't do anything because there was just that small contingent of units warding them.
There's a lot of cannons and High Templar spread across the map, so it's very hard for INnoVation to move to the side. So I really like the playstyle that we've seen from Zest. Zealots to the north, they may get the Planetary Fortress.
Wow.
There's no repair.
What the...
Big move if this goes down. And then at the same time, double Warp Prism headed towards the main base, or at least one of them stopped, I think.
Yeah, one's down to the bottom left, so it can kind of reinforce later on, but one of them is in a great spot here to actually do some damage. He kills off a few Vikings. He killed off... Okay, there's still 11 Vikings, but he killed off a few.
Big warping in the main base. Oh, gosh.
Uh-oh.
So if I was Zest, I'm going back to my cannons and High Templar. I'll be very careful out in the open because he's dealing a big attack to INnoVation right now.
Bye-bye infrastructure. Oh, if he were able to focus down that engineering bay before +3 armor finishes as well, that would be a big hit. Go, go, go. I don't think he's going to get it, though. There's only 2 Zealots working on it.
Ah, the other side. Stalker's playing forward.
Oh, got to be careful here. Good EMPs hit a lot of those High Templars. The worst storm ever. Didn't hit a single thing there for Zest, but he's going to pull back and he still has good army size. The +3 armor did finish.
A lot of money in the bank. INnoVation's just been outplayed this game when it comes to later stages. There's 4 bases, great bank, 3 3s about to complete. DT harass is going to also come into play as 2 DTs were warped in somewhere. And they're going to go up towards that Planetary Fortress.
Zest's doing so well, even putting on pressure at his opponent's 3rd base as well, killing off some of these orbitals, making it harder for INnoVation to actually gain any income whatsoever. And the Zealots are still not cleaned up in the main. They're getting add-ons.
And 2 DTs, if they target down that turret at the north, they'll actually probably do a lot of damage up there as well.
Yeah. This is a really tough game here for INnoVation. Not only is he behind now in terms of, well, he will be eventually behind in army supply, but now he's heavily supply blocked. So he has to start a ton of supply depots.
And 2 DTs going towards the 3rd.
He can't afford
DT
this.
at the north, that's going to get picked off.
He can't afford any of this. He has to make sure that he's able to replenish once the fight comes, because Zest certainly is going to be able to replenish.
Yeah, Warp Prism again, big warp into the main base. Another 11 Zealots.
This is keeping INnoVation so far back.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't know. The one thing that is kind of working in INnoVation's favor, I guess, is that his opponent doesn't really have too many minerals and needs a new base. He's got a lot of gas, but what is a lot of gas? I guess Archons, but there's also a ton of ghosts. INnoVation in a heads-up fight may still be able to win a fight, but can he win against the reinforcements?
Can he? That one base down to the bottom left-hand corner that Zest's trying to get up is slightly out of position, so it's not going to be the most efficient of mining, but it's a flurry of actions. He needs to just get it going. It doesn't really matter. He wants to keep putting the pressure on at the front, trying to kill some Vikings. If he can get them, that'd be great, but he has to run away. These 2 High Templars do not want to get EMP'd.
Yeah. This is such good play from Zest. Really slow, patient, and very annoying.
Oh, is he going to lose this? No, he's not. The SCVs do repair it. The Dark Templars not enough to continue
INnoVation's
attacking.
coming for one final attack. I really think it's the final attack because he has no money.
Yeah, he has nothing. Nice movement here by the Vikings, though, doing a lot of damage to these Colossi as the Ghosts just march on forwards. If anything is going to win this game for INnoVation, it's his Viking and Ghost count. Ghosts 22 right now. They're going to do a lot of damage as well as rip away a lot of those shields.
Well, he's found this new Nexus, which is going to hurt Zest a little bit here, but still. Zest has a lot of money left over. He has a lot of high units, and the Viking count is damaged. It's not that high anymore either.
I'm wondering if he meant all the while to get...
Look at how well INnoVation's just still in this game, by the way. Like, I don't know how, but somehow he's still at 170 supply. He's still got mining bases.
I'm wondering if all the while Zest meant to get Warp Prism speed as opposed to Observer speed because of the Warp Prism harassment that he's been doing. But anyway, I mean, it's still done a lot of work, right, with the Dark Templars and Zealots still going to work in the main.
Oh, this is a big move from Zest again. Warp into the main base, forcing INnoVation to come home.
Oh,
and then
wow.
all his units are going to finally pick off this Planetary Fortress by the looks of it.
And this is the problem with those later game situations, you know? He's been drawn completely thin with this army and hasn't really had too much of an opportunity to deal with it. And now killing off arguably the most important base here for INnoVation.
Yep.
It's got to hurt.
That's a big pick off. And INnoVation with his Viking movement here, I think he's trying to catch this army as it retreats back to its cannons and High Templar. Because once again, INnoVation knows he's in big trouble and needs to land a good fight soon. 2 storms do come down.
More storms try and hit some of this army, but a good split at the front from INnoVation makes sure that he can kill those units off without being hit too much by Ghost. But now it's 154 supply to maxed out Zest with a good bank as well.
All right, so Zest is going to spread his units on the high ground. INnoVation knows where he is. He scans. Time Warp comes down.
Oh, this
INnoVation's looking for a big fight.
This could be good here. Those Colossi are doing a lot of damage to those Ghosts. They move forwards. They get a lot of EMPs, hitting the whole army. But at the same time, Storms and Colossi do so much. The reinforcements from Zest should be coming in very soon. And with that, I think he just completely takes this. Oh, the Zealots.
Yeah, that's a lot of money that Zest has. Look, 1,500s, still on 4 bases because he's been very cost efficient all game long.
He doesn't have an observer with the army, but now it does come along here to reinforce. And 112 supply to 97. Yeah. INnoVation has been fighting on like a trooper, but all game long, Zest has just been playing furiously good.
Yeah, and he's going to switch over to Zealot Archon now, by the looks of it, with a couple of High Templar. Maybe, or maybe he's just going to leave him for Storm. But either way, INnoVation still needs a new base mining. He needs money, but immediately Zest sends a DT to that north base. The turret will get picked off first, and then SCVs will have a hard time mining from it.
There's even going to be a Dark Templar sent over to the third base here as well. There is a missile turret, so it should be able to shut that down. But if Zest just gets a few more Colossi up, and then a ton of Zealots, so just anything, you know, there's not going to be enough Vikings to deal with it. He has 1 Viking and can't really make too many more at the moment.
Yeah. DT harassment. I guess he can. Does he have a Warp Prism around? Yeah,
he does now. Yeah.
Okay, it's top right. More DTs to the top right base as well.
Oh god, that orbital could actually just die. He needs to drop the scan there instantly to actually clean that up, and he will do. So will end up dying, but at the same time, Zest seizes the opportunity and goes down to the base down to the south.
Cannons and High Templar are so annoying to play against for a Terran. Trust me, very difficult to break.
Yeah.
Like the cannons just help with cloak ghosts, High Templar behind them, the warping pylons everywhere. You're
right. I mean, a great example of that for me is during Season 2 WCS Challenger, which was Thorzane versus Todd of all games, where he had bases at the top of ramps with 3 cannons and 2 High Templar. Breaking that whilst being cost efficient, it's so difficult. Oop, Colossi, bye-bye.
Well, that's helpful for INnoVation.
Yeah.
But still, he's got a massive uphill battle to fight still if he's going to win this game.
Yeah, that's a lot of Zealots. A lot of Storms still available to him. There's harassment everywhere, guys. The Warp Prism still warping in the main. There was a Dark Templar up in this 4th base as well. And Zest is just running INnoVation ragged. There's not really a whole lot he can do here. He's trying to stabilize, but how can you with all of this aggression going on?
Yeah, and Zest now is going to have this base mining in the bottom left very soon, and that's just going to power him up even more. At this point, INnoVation is showing why he's so good is because he's still alive somehow in this game. I know a lot of other Terran players would already be dead. But Zest is controlling it and has been controlling it from the get-go.
I gotta say, people have to be scared of Zest. If he can bring this kind of macro again, there you go, GG. And Zest takes the series 2-1. What play from him, advancing on to the final series in the winners bracket.
Yeah, and would be going up against Curious, who beat San. That's a big win there for Curious, 2-0. So that means Curious and Zest will be playing up in the winners final for the first plane ticket to the Intel Extreme Masters New York.
I think I know which match we're going to be watching next, because that's going to be a pretty cool one. Curious looked great against Protoss players during stages 1 and 2. Stage 2 really comes to mind when he was playing against Parting and shutting him down really, really well. So I'm looking forward to Zest versus Curious.
Yeah, that's good. Curious is so good at defending anything. He doesn't really lose to too many all-ins because he obviously plays and had played against Parting a lot. He played against Squirtle a lot back in StarTale back in the day, and just built up a solid foundation in the early to mid-game.
Yep.
And then, of course, he's always been a very aggressive player as well. So that's going to be a cool series to watch, especially because, you know, Zest played a great game against INnoVation, but INnoVation now drops down to the lower bracket. A must defeat everyone there. Has to be everyone if you still want a chance to go to New York. There's one ticket in the winner bracket, one ticket from the loser bracket, and, well, all to play for.
All right, so guys, join us after the break when we shall have a deciding series on the way. Who is going to advance to New York first? Is it going to be Curious or is it going to be Zest?